There it is.
How to do.
That's good. It's recording.
Got it.
You gotta press the got it button. If sometimes you gotta hit F6 and go to it.
All
And I'm gonna mute.
over to my stuff.
Bye, John.
Thank you, John. All right, guys, this is the first class of the new year. We had one 3 weeks ago that wrapped up 2023, but now we're in full swing into the new year. So before I get started, does anybody have anything to say to the group or any comments, questions?
Who just joined the meeting?
Somebody
That
with an
iPhone
iPhone.
joined the meeting.
The secret agent,
I don't know who it is. Somebody
codenamed iPhone.
Mhm.
Manny, I have a question, and I don't know if I bring it up now or later.
Sure,
See if we-
Marlene, whatever you want to do. Absolutely.
Well, it's regarding the Be My Eyes AI
Mhm.
and using it. I discovered a spider web in my house. Well, it was
Yeah.
discovered for me, and I thought I would use Be My Eyes, to deal with it.
Mhm.
So I took a picture and it didn't even recognize, it didn't tell me that there was a spider web there. So I asked it, is there a spider web in the corner? And yes, there's a spider web there. And so I kept trying to like locate a spider, and it would find a brown spot on the wall. But it wouldn't tell me what the brown spot was. And then I would ask it where the brown spot was, and it would give me directions by the photo and not by the wall. So I was never really able to isolate where the brown spot was. Do I
Yeah.
have mold on the wall, or is that the spider? And so I was trying to use the Be My Eye to resolve this issue. And my question is, does it learn stuff like that? Like, is learning about me, like spider webs are this lady's problem, and so we just know when she's taking pictures of her wall, she's looking for spider webs?
I think.
Or
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
and how do I get it to identify, like if something falls on the floor, I could use it to locate it on the floor. Yeah, this the rubber band is on the floor, but then how do I get AI to tell me where it is on the floor?
That's right, and that's a good question. I don't have an answer to that, but there is a solution. You could just go ahead and bring a volunteer in, a human person that can discern those things and tell you with Be My Eyes. There is an option to bring a human on to look at the same thing.
Yep, I'm aware of that.
Okay,
But,
okay.
I like to do things the hard way.
Oh, it's okay. No, it's a good question.
And be as independent as possible. I would like it to be able to do that. Maybe I'm asking too much, or is it possible it can learn that kind of stuff? Or
you have the right idea of what the technology should do. Now, if it's going to learn something, then it's going to ask you questions about what it saw. Because if it didn't ask you any questions, then it's not in any kind of learning mode. It's only in recognition mode. And I don't know the answer if I were to talk to Be My Eyes, the corporate headquarters of that, and ask them that if it's collecting information and they're identifying it and throwing it into a database. That I don't have the answer to.
maybe
This is
for that.
this is Patty. I was gonna tell you, Marlene. There's an app. There's a group on Facebook that uses it a lot, and they were talking about, one of the ladies was saying that she taught it to find her cat. So she would, by repetition, I guess, like what you were saying, by repetition,
people
she
are
was
saying
able, yeah,
that you can teach it.
yeah, you would say is, she would say, it's my cat back on the counter, or something. She was teaching her cat something, and then she would say that, and then after a while, I guess she didn't have to say it, but I don't know how many times or what it took.
Right, so it's a possibility. It
Yeah.
is
According to
like
yeah.
spots on the wall, like, can I, would, if I took a picture of my couch, that would
Mhm.
be something that would be nice to know, that I have a spot there. If I knew I had the spot there, I might clean it off.
Yeah.
Is that a way that you could, help you clean, maybe check the toilet for the black rings or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, these are
Well,
good, valid
according to this
questions.
group, they're using it for all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the spiderweb thing is just like open the door for ideas to
Yeah.
use this technology for.
Yeah.
So,
The latest thing, Marlene, is you can set up your own Be My Eye group.
be my own. Oh, for like yeah, I saw that too. Yeah.
So you could put certain people in, and then when you ask it, it'll tell you who's available. Type thing.
Yep, I saw that too. Yeah. But I also
Marlene,
have
it's Meg.
access to FaceTime. And so when I get my kids or somebody to help me, I just FaceTime with them.
Yeah.
But this
Right,
is something
yeah,
I
it's-
can do on my own, and I don't have to bother my kids.
They taught me on one.
Marlene, it's Maggie. And
I'm-
I'll tell you, I don't laugh, but I use my freeze buddy for that. The refrigerator buddy.
Oh, yeah?
You can set it, and it works like a whiz, because I don't
that's
like
it.
to be calling people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that's an app, right? The refrigerator buddy. You've talked about that
Yeah,
before.
it's freeze
Annie?
buddy, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that works the same kind of way.
Yeah, it's all recognition of objects, and how it does it depends on the app. It's just some do it better than others, some don't do it at all. And looks like Maggie has had very good
How do you
success
use
with
it, Maggie?
Well, instead of taking a picture of a cabbage, I say what I want it to look for, get it set up, and then I take it to wherever I think there is a problem. Like if I have too many wires crossed under a counter and I don't know how to get them straightened out, and I say, tell me which is the blue wire, for instance, and which is the TV wire. So I use it for all kinds of weird things.
That's called the refrigerator buddy.
Called Fridge Buddy.
Yeah.
Fridge buddy. All right.
Manny set us up with it.
I don't know if I saw that in the notes, but I do think
Mm-hmm.
I've heard about that from
I've
you
only
guys.
used it for the refrigerator. I've never used it for nothing else. That's good.
But you
can set it up for your underwear drawer. You set it for your underwear drawer. Yeah, for anything you want to look and see.
Okay.
I use it. I
I'll
use
check
it on
that
my
out.
hooks. If I want a red collar for Falcon, I set it up until we find a red collar, and they'll
There you go.
read off them what the collars are. You can't say it's the third collar down. It's got to be where they can look at it.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
that's
use
anytime
weird
you're not-
apps for weird things.
And this is a computer and not a person you're talking to, right? This is the fridge buddy. Is like,
It's an app. Yeah.
okay. All right. I will check it out and see. I did not try seeing AI. I didn't do this, change it to scenery or whatever it's called.
Mhm.
I didn't try that to try to do
So
it.
that works like a whiz. I use that. I think that's my one most favorite app. Manny knows I can't do anything without that. It's
I will
fantastic.
definitely give that a try and see if it works differently than the other ones I have. Thank you very much for that suggestion.
Yeah, you guys are getting good at this stuff. Well, you know what I've noticed with these recognition apps and this whole AI revolution that's happening is that some apps just do it better than others. I mentioned last week when we were doing the whole menu thing, Be My Eyes AI section does a really good job with objects in your space, whereas Seeing AI did a slightly better job, not much better, but slightly, than Be My Eyes on the menu or documents. And I guess we as users of these products and services, we have to figure out what works for us. If Fridge Buddy is the best recognition software out there, why not? I mean, you don't have to use it for a refrigerator, like Maggie says. And I think that's a wonderful thing you've done, Maggie, as far as exploring other options. I think that's really good. So
You know, I don't ever use the options that you're supposed to because I forget how to use them. And I've got 3 or 4 that I use for everything. And I figure this way, I don't know if I'm not supposed to use it that way. If it works for me, I don't care.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Very good.
I was shopping today at Walmart, and I always have my CNAI reading. I was looking for oil, and it kept reading, and then so this lady came and asked me, do you know where flour is? And I know where flour is because it's just in the same aisle. And I go, yeah, it's right there, ma'am. And so she went and got it. And then I saw her, I got my oil, and then I was in the next aisle. And then, she came and she asked me again. So she thought that I was a person that worked at Walmart, and I was scanning things. And I was
Oh boy,
scanning
that's
things with
wonderful.
my phone because she goes, isn't it a wonderful app? And I go, yes, it is, but I was doing CNAI. And then, so I told her, and she goes, I wish I had it. And I wish, you guys are lucky because you work here. And I'm like, well, I don't work here. I said, this is just my app because I can't see that well. And so she downloaded the app for herself because she couldn't
I
find
love it.
anything. She was a sighted lady. Maybe she had some issues with her vision too, but she kept coming back to me and asking me, and I'm like, that was funny.
Oh, Pat, you should have said you were blind. That would have cracked her up.
Well, that's what I told her. I said, I just use this because I can't see, So she goes, but I heard it say, when I was, because she was looking for the olive oil. And then, when I was scanning with my CNAI, because I know where the oil, the olive oil was, but I was looking for pure olive oil. And so when I was scanning it, I found her oil for her. And I said, are you looking for the avocado? And she goes, yeah, but because my phone found it. So that was funny.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Does it drain your battery when you do that?
Well, I use it.
I
I make sure I have it charged, before, because it does use your
So you
data
would have
and your
You'd have to
battery.
be.
Well,
Careful.
I use the this automatic thing. It's about the size of a deck of cards, but it's way thin, and it will give you 2 complete charges from absolutely nothing on this. And I go no place that I don't have that tucked into my bag someplace.
That's right.
Because if it gets low or I want to
We
do
have
it,
the same one.
I plop it on. Yeah,
That's the battery
And-
charger. Yeah.
yeah, and it's great. Mine's about 6 years old, and it's just a whiz.
Yeah, that's very good to
I
carry
think-
extra. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Maggie.
I was going to say, I think when you had me get that, Manny, it was like $20 or something. And
yeah, it's cheap.
it's been worth its weight.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think all 3 of us have the same one.
Some
I'm using it right
strategies
now,
you
as a
can-
matter of fact.
Yeah. Some strategies you guys can use is just what they're saying, carrying extra power just in case. And I'm talking to you, Marlene. And then
Yeah.
if you're at a store, typically they will offer data Wi-Fi. All you have to do is just for one time go to the service desk and say, "Can I connect to your Wi-Fi?" They'll usually just give you the password, and then you can use their data to
Mhm.
peruse their store, and why not?
Yeah.
So, and then you could book your rides from there with their data. It's part of being in the store, and you're paying good money for their groceries. Why not get something else out
Yeah.
of it too? And they wouldn't give it to you if they didn't want you to use it. So Walmart's a case in point. When I go there and I need to book a ride somewhere after that, well, I'm on their Walmart Wi-Fi, whatever they call it, and I can do everything I do at home there. It's a very good Wi-Fi, and it's secure. And of course, my phone's secure because it's an Apple iPhone. And yeah, everything just works. And Seeing AI works, brilliantly in the store when I need it. And it really feels good to see you guys using these tools,
It's
because
me.
without them, I don't know where
It's
we'd
my,
be.
no, I'm back in the meeting. It's Maggie. My phone went wonky. It just decided it was going to leave the meeting.
Oh, okay.
So I had to come back in.
Okay. So yeah, just rounding out what I said, Marlene, just keep trying and using the stuff. I will put a note in this and make a note to myself, because I have the video here to remind me to give Be My Eyes a call and ask them how the app learns. And maybe I'll give a second call to Microsoft. I got their number too. And maybe get some insight on how these things learn, if they even do from our end, or if it's just the mothership learning on its own with Microsoft employees doing it. I have no idea.
Mhm. Well, doesn't Alexa learn? I
They
mean,
learn yes, they learn your habits, what you
your
like in
habit,
music,
Mm.
your taste, what you like to listen
your
to, what you
Amazon
like to order.
shopping.
Yeah, and there are huge psychological models that they make on each one of us. That's why they like data. And they say, well, Marlene buys this stuff. Most people that buy this stuff, they also kind of like this stuff. And then they'll start promoting stuff out of the blue to you that you've never
Right.
even thought about, and you may or may not like. So it's their way of getting you to buy more stuff or services, or whatever. So
Well, Siri gets to know you too. If you, okay, say I wanted to talk to Manny and I don't get it right, Siri will come back and say, you want Manny or do you want Mary? Which is
Yeah.
kind of nice. They learn.
Yeah, and Google learns. Like every time you do a Google search, Google
Mhm.
learns.
Yep. And that's the whole
Well,
idea.
I use Siri and tell Siri to go find it for me.
Right. Well, very good, guys. It's a very good discussion. I'm glad that you guys are really using the tools, and it's good to see them working. So I got some more tools for you tonight, by the way, some really cool ones actually. And
That's why I'm
Great.
here.
This is Annie, the question. I looked up Fridge Buddy in the App Store and I don't find it.
I found it.
How did you look it up, Annie? Did you dictate fridge in there, or did you type it in? How did you do
I
that?
typed it in.
So you typed it FRIDGE buddy all together, or did you put them separate words?
I put it as separate words.
Yeah, okay, let me try it again then.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'll unless there's any other questions, I'll get these news items out of the way and get to the fun stuff.
Okay.
So okay, you should be on iOS 17.3. It's the latest flavor, and I think this is not news anymore. I'm not sure why I'm even saying it, but just to keep you aware of what version you should be on, because these numbers are changing all the time. So that should be your current version. And then the next guy, 17.4, should be coming out within a few weeks. And what that's going to bring to the table, it's not going to affect us too much, but it's going to help the people in the EU and the European Union. They want to get Apple to change a few things about their app store. And I won't go into the whole 9 yards about it, because it's not going to affect us. But the European Union, the government is forcing Apple to make some changes to promote better competition in their eyes. So it won't affect us here in the US, at least not yet. But they're going to open up the App Store to third-party stuff, and you can sideload, which means you don't have to get stuff from the App Store. You can get it from an alternative store that you can install apps. Anyway, it's just a long, boring subject. I just wanted to let you know in case you hear about it. So no big deal there. And the rumor for iOS 18 later this year is that they're going to start incorporating a lot of AI. And it's projected that this is going to be the biggest update in years. Because as you well know, all these updates we get, even when they go from 16 to 17, they're not very much. I mean, they're like incremental, small increments, and they bring a lot of bugs and then they fix them, that kind of cycle. Hopefully with 18, they're going to bring in some new stuff where your phone can start being commanded more with your voice to do things. Instead of it just being an informational thing, you can actually have it do more things like book rides or whatever. So they're looking at all that for 18. So that's kind of what.
That's this
When
year.
does that due?
That's later in the year, and it's under rumors right now. Apple is very tight-lipped about what they're working on, unless they have to let it out. But the rumor is that 18 is going to have a lot of AI stuff in it, and they're probably going to be looking at these apps that we just mentioned, and instead of them having the fun, they're going to put it right into the product, which is good for us too. So
You said this year.
this year, yeah, this year, later this year. Usually they release iOS 18 in around September, maybe in that area. But there'll be some.
You have to have a different phone.
No, same phone, same phone.
It'll work on my SE.
Yeah, sure will.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah.
Well, why do we not have it, Manny? Why don't we have it if it's out in some parts of the country?
Oh no. What I said before, that 17.4 version, it's not out yet. But when it does come out, it's going to affect the European Union more than us. And then this 18 thing that I'm talking about with AI, that's not even announced or anything yet. That's going to be later in the year. So.
Oh, I misunderstood. Thank you.
Yeah, I said too many versions in one news thing, and I probably need to be careful with that because it could alarm you like that. So yeah, and then the last thing, every year they have this thing called a computer electronics show in Las Vegas, and there was a lot of things concerning AI and surrounding AI, and I'm going to get into that a little bit more in the next segment here, right under here on emerging technologies. So that happened, and there was one device that was really a neat device. Now, I wouldn't say go out and get it. It's not going to be due until April, but it's called the Rabbit RI, and it's just made by some company here in the States. And what it does is it's starting to transition, like the promise of AI, from running applications to going to a language model, kind of like the A lady and the S lady. So for example, this device, you should be able to book your ride just by telling it to do so. You could say, give me an Uber from my home to the grocery store. It'll go out and do it, and it'll tell you that the car is so many minutes away. They even demoed booking a vacation, the full package, direct flights, 4-star hotel, cars, excursions, and whatnot. And they did even comparisons. And this was in Las Vegas.
I saw ads on TV where you talk to your phone and you tell your bank to transfer funds or pay bills.
Stuff like that, yeah, stuff like that. Now, there's a lot of things to work out. Oh, go ahead.
Well, you can still do that bank thing. You can still do right now. I'm cheap. If my Visa bill's due on the 1st, I'm not about to pay it before. And I call them up weird hours and say, hey, I have a Visa bill and I want to pay out of my checking account. And bing, 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 it's done.
And what are you doing to do that? Are you calling somebody, or is that an app on your phone that you're using? What is that?
I have Siri get the right person for me. They just call the bank, talk to whoever's there, tell them what we need. Goes through about 3 or 4 different people. Well, we refer you to John Doe. Well, John
Mhm.
Doe will refer you, and it's instead of having to fight my way through all these people, Siri does it.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And what the technology, the promise of that is that you'll be able to do that directly. You'll just be able to make, say, one command to your phone, and then it can do the bill pay or the transfer without any fuss. And we got to be sure that everything's secure and that nobody else can do that. These are the things we have to work out before this becomes live.
Well, what they're doing, Manny, when you do this, before they put it through, they do everything, and then they email you like a receipt
Mhm.
and say, check this out. If it's not right, let us know.
No, that's a good way to do it. And there is no wrong way to do it, and that's a very good way to do it. What I do with my bills, including my any credit cards, is I have payees in my bank app, and I have my bank app on my phone. And I'm not the kind of guy that automatically pays, because if I get an electric bill that's twice as much as the one in the previous month, which can happen here in Tucson because of our weather, I want to know how much I'm going to pay before I send it. So I do that. But you can have it automatically pay out of your account too.
Yeah, no. I can get into enough trouble in playing with my account myself. I don't want somebody else doing it.
No, that's and that's for each person's personal preference. That's true. You're right. So this AI, this rabbit thing that I was talking about, he was demoing it, and it does things like Meg was talking about, and planning trips, and not only just giving you information via your voice, but you're now talking to the phone. Because historically, computers, all the way back to the very first one 80 years ago, they've been application-based systems. You have to tap on something or click on something, or if you're on a command line, you have to execute, type in something. And these are app-based models. This is called a language-based model. And I think that's the new thing that's coming out that's going to take over sooner or later, probably sooner. And that's what this whole rabbit thing is doing, this rabbit R1. It's a step in that direction. And what I'll do is I'll put the YouTube video that I watched that inspired me to mention this device. So you guys can call it up and take a look yourself. And the guy does a lot of great demos with it. But you can be sure that if they got something great and they're doing it good, that Apple will buy them out or get the technology or replicate it for our iPhones. So that will be coming to us at some point in time, if it's a good, viable technology. So that's what I wanted to mention for for emerging technologies, the Rabbit R1. So any questions about that or comments about emerging technologies? All right, we're gonna keep going then. All right, so if you have updated your phone to 17.2 or 3, you probably are very annoyed with this whole live voicemail thing, especially if you're using VoiceOver. Because what it does is when someone's leaving a voicemail, it starts announcing what they're saying, but it doesn't announce it at the same time that they're doing it, and it trips over itself, and you can't get the whole message. So what I'm going to show you how to do is how to go in and disable live voicemail. So it'll just act like it did before when they're leaving a voicemail, and then you can always turn it on later when they fix the problem. So let me get my phone. So live voicemail is going to be under settings and then phone. So let me go there.
7 p.m.
Calendar. So
Wednesday, January 3rd. Phone settings.
Settings.
No cellular off button.
Let's see if I can look for it real quick. Get there.
Search field.
Live voicemail. So it didn't find it, even though it's there.
It's
So
under phone.
yeah.
Live void. Cancel button.
That's okay. So we'll do it manually. We'll go to phone.
Rose 4 to display a wallpaper, standby, Rose 4 to battery, App Store, pass, mail, contact, calendar, notes, reminder, free for, voice, phone.
You go to
button.
phone.
Allow phone to access. Notification, Siri and incoming, announce call, my number, share name and to person, calls, Wi-Fi call, calls on other, respond, live voice, silent, live voicemail, on, button.
So live voicemail is just an entry under the phone settings in the front door settings. And you can just turn that on or off. It's a little, you press on you tap on the guy here.
Live voicemail, live voicemail.
And here's the explanation.
View a transcript of an incoming voicemail in real time and answer the call before it ends. Calling and data rates may apply.
So what happens when live voicemail kicks in, they'll start leaving a message and you'll be able to, in a perfect world, hear it through voiceover while they're speaking. And then if it's somebody that you want to talk to, and it's not like a salesperson or spam or whatever, you can actually hit the answer button and answer the call while they're leaving the voicemail to talk to them. There's also a button on the left that I've never talked about, and it's called block. So if it's a spammer leaving something, you can go to that little block button and tap on that. You will get a dialog that says cancel, hang up and block. And you do that and it blocks them and hangs up at the same time, declines it. So that's kind of cool. And that's what this live voicemail opens up. When it's off, it's going to act like it did before. It's going to ring a few times. If you don't answer it, the call will end on your phone and they will be leaving a voicemail to your voicemail box. And you'll have to listen to it later whenever you get a chance. So disabling voicemail will solve the problem of garbled voicemails as they're being left on your phone. Okay, that's all I had for that. Let's see. So the next thing that I have, if there's no questions on voicemail, is I wanted to show you guys how to use your Echo device to press numbers like at a doctor's office or a pharmacy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my little guy, a little Echo guy, and I'm going to call Sunvan and I'm going to ask them, I'm not going to ask them, I'm going to press the number with my voice to go to Spanish and then do that. So the way you make this work is you get the device from Amazon, configure it with your phone, and then you share your contacts with that device. And what that does, that opens it up to allowing it to automate phone calls. Now you're still using your phone, but you're doing it through the Dot device, the Echo Dot. It's just extending your phone so you can do more things. So let me find my little guy here. Where are you? Let me see. Where did I put you? Oh, here we go. So I'm going to put it in front of the camera so you can see it. It's this guy right here. So I'm going to make sure the volume's up. Echo, volume 6. Okay. You heard that beep. So that we're going to try it now. So I'm going to call them and see what happens. So Echo, call 520-798-1000.
1-520-798-1000.
Thank you for calling Sunvan. Download the new Sunvan app for convenient ride reservations and trip tracking. Visit suntrend.com/Sunvan for details or ask your reservationist. Gracias por llamar a Sunvan. Descargue la nueva aplicación Sunvan para hacer reservaciones de viajes convenientes y rastrear los viajes en vivo. Visite suntrend.com/Sunvan para más detalles o pregunte a su agente de reservas.
If you wish to hear this message in English, please press 1 or stay on the line. Si le gustaría oír este mensaje en español, oprima el 2.
Echo, press 2.
Si desea hacer una reservación en Sunvan, oprime el 1. Para hablar con el despachador, cancelar o pedir información
Echo,
sobre un viaje.
hang up. So that's how you can use your not your iPhone, but this guy to get through all those dumb menus that they put up. Press 1 for this, press 2 for whatever. And you can use this in your voice without having to worry about trying to tap it on the screen or whatever. So kind of handy thing. That's what I wanted to demo. This is one of the things I think can help us with phone calls to places that we need, like pharmacies and doctors. So and that
Couldn't
was
you
it
have
for
just
that.
told it, Manny, couldn't you have just told it to call Sunvan?
Well, yeah. I have 2 Sunvan listings. I have one that's got Sunvan. You know, I don't
Then
have
I
a
name
separate
them
one just for
different.
the main number. But yeah, you're right. So yes, you that's why you share your contacts, so you can call people by name, or you can call your doctors by name. That exactly right. I just did it this way because I don't have a number for the main Sunvan number. I have dispatch and I have, booking the rides, and it automatically puts the codes in for me. So this was just if I'm calling somebody and I don't know the menu system and I want to have it press the digits in real time. And it seems to work very well. So I kind of like that. So, well, all right, let's see what's next here on the. Okay, Barbara wanted me to go over, I think we've done this in the past, but we want to make sure we go over managing email folders. Now, when you create email folders, the idea is you want to save emails that you want to save emails for something later, like maybe you bought I don't know, like a refrigerator from the Home Depot, and you want to keep the receipt and any other information in a folder. Well, you can create a folder called receipts, and then that email that comes in from the Home Depot, you can move it to receipts, and it'll stay there until you get rid of it, years and years and years. So it's a good way to organize mail that you want to keep, because keeping it all in your inbox, you could do that and it's no problem, but it does get unruly if you get, hundreds or even thousands of emails in your inbox. And how do you triage that one day? That's going to be a hard job. So I'm going to go into the into the program here, and we're going to look at folders. So I'm going to do that now. Hang on.
7:09 p.m.
Close that.
Settings.
Let me turn this up.
Remote overeats.
There we go. All right. Siri,
Uh-huh.
open mail.
Regarding page mail
All right.
unread.
So where you go to manage your mailboxes is at the very top left. If you land in your mail program into your inbox or whatever box you were in last, at the very top left, you're going to have a button that says mailboxes. Okay. And it sounds like this.
Mailboxes. Back button.
So I'm going to double tap on that.
Mailbox. Edit. Button. Manisalis. One unread mess.
So in here, you have all of your email boxes. Typically, you're only going to have one email account, but you could have multiple email accounts in this app. So I'm going to go to my Gmail guy and do that. Hang on a second. Let me just.
Manisalis. Inbox. One unread. Manisalis. Manisalis. One on Gmail. One unread
So
message.
I'm going to go into
Button.
Gmail, and then I want to create a
Gmail.
box.
One on Gmail. One unread.
So I make sure I select the Gmail guy. Actually, you're going to select the parent where the new box is located under. So if I wanted to put it just under the Gmail box as at the same level as your inbox and stuff, I could do that, and I could just go down and create a new box. So let me do that now.
Toolbar. Compose. Button.
Hold on a second here.
Double tap and hold to bring up drafts. Trash. One unread drafts. Trash. One on page 2 of important. 833 unread messages.
Let me get back up
Page
there.
1 of 3. Gmail.
All right,
One
here we go.
unread message. Gmail. Select messages. Unread. Amazon. Gmail. Back. Gmail. Gmail. One unread.
Okay, so the first thing you have to do when you get on your box, your account, you want to go to the edit button.
100% battery power. Edit button.
Top right, edit button. So you do that.
Done.
And then there at the bottom, a new option is going to appear, and it's called
Toolbar. New mailbox.
New
button.
Mailbox.
Cancel text field is editing.
So let's say I want to create a mailbox to track
Bye, Gracie.
something. I don't know. Let's just call it test. Test.
Inserted test.
And then you just go and
Mailbox location. Heading. Mailbox location. Button.
so now I got to figure out where do I want to put it. It didn't give me the default, but it allows me to choose it again here. So I'm going to do that.
Gmail.
So I'll put it right under Gmail.
Gmail. Text field is editing. Test.
And then-
Character mode. Insertion point at end. Save. Button.
And then if I hit the save button, I'll have a new email box called test. So that's how that works. And you can create any number of boxes to your heart's desire. But I would create one for receipts. I would create one for important documents that you get electronically, ones that you don't want to lose. You just put them in boxes. And that's how that works. And if I hit save, my new box will be there under my Gmail account, and I can move stuff into it, delete stuff out of it, or remove the box altogether at some point in time. So that's how that works for email. And then if you got something in your inbox that you want to save, you would get focus on your inbox item, and then you would go to move, and you would say move to folder, and then you pick the test folder, and then it goes in there from the inbox. It moves it from one box to another. And that's how you do it. All right, so that's how that works with email.
Cancel. Button.
All right,
Selected.
let me just close that.
Calendar. Tuesday. January
All right.
30th.
Any questions on email folders? All right. Don't worry, we're getting through the not exciting stuff, and then we're going to get to the more exciting stuff in just a second. So one thing they've added to contacts is the ability to group contacts into lists. For example, like if when Barbara sends out stuff to the TSB members, she has a TSB list that has all of the members in there. And then she can choose that list to send email to everybody on that list in one shot. Well, you can do the same thing on the iPhone.
Screen dim.
You can actually create a list. And I'm going to show you how that's done. Okay, so let me do that now.
News. Double tap to open. Apps. Mail. Closing mail. Set. Closing setting.
And this is good, like if you have a club of people, or you have a few people that you wanna email stuff to all the time or whatever, you can just use that group name and then email them whenever you want, all of them at the same time. So it's going to be under contacts. That's where you do lists. So open Siri. Open contacts.
Contacts. All contacts. 390. Button.
Wow.
All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to go to lists.
Edit. Button. Lists. Heading.
So typically when this screen comes up, you're going to be in your contact list from A to Z, and then you'll have this thing on the side where you can go A, B, C, whatever. So you're going to go back one button list, and this is where you're going to do that. Okay, so let's say I want to create, I don't know, a group called TSB, and I want to add Barbara and Patty to that list. So all I got to do is just go to
iCloud. Button.
there's a button on top.
Add list. Button.
Add list, upper right. Okay,
iCloud. Button.
and then I choose.
Dismiss context menu. Button.
Hold on a second here.
Dismiss context menu. Dismiss context menu. Button. Edit. Button.
Let me do that again. Hang on. Sorry about that.
Add list. Button. iCloud. Button.
So I want to do it under my iCloud. Something went wrong there. Something with VoiceOver is still not working 100%. That's why that happened. So I hit add list, and then now I got to pick the place to put it, which is iCloud.
iCloud button. List name, text field
All right.
is editing. List name,
So
insertion point.
I'm going to dictate TSB in there. TSB.
Inserted TSB. Done.
And then I'll click on the done button on the keyboard at the bottom right.
Done. Done. Edit button.
Now I have to go back to my list that I just created, which is down the screen a little bit.
iCloud, all TSB 0 button.
So TSB 0 means that
Actions available.
that's a group and it's got 0 people. I mean, I'm the owner of the list, but I haven't put anybody else besides me in there. So now I'm going to double tap on that to add people.
Manny Celis, my card.
Okay, and it shows me as the owner of it or the creator of it. Now I want to add people, which I use the plus thing on the top right.
Add button. Lists, back button.
And then it brings up a standard contact search. I'll just search for Barbara, then I'll search for Patty. And you got to do them one at a time. You can't multi-select here. So I'm going to do that now real quick.
Search fields.
Barbara McPherson.
Inserted Barbara McPherson. Search results. Barbara McPherson. Select lists. Back button.
Okay. So I did that.
Selected. Barbara McPherson.
And then I'm going to
Done button.
I'm gonna look for Patty now.
Search.
Oops, sorry about that.
Search field. Search field.
Patty Green.
Insert.
Okay.
Search results. Patty Green. Select lists.
So
back button.
once you've looked for 2 and then selected them, you can now add them all together. So here we go.
Done button.
Now,
Lists. Back.
now my TSB list.
TSB. Email. Add. Search. Dictate. Manny Celis. Barbara McPherson. Patty Green.
So now
Actions
I have
available.
2 members in that list. And what's great about this is that once I create the list, I can just email them straight away from here. There's an email button up here at the top.
Barbara, Manny, dictate, search, add, email all, button.
And then what it does,
Subject.
it creates a new email and it puts the people one by one in the to box where you're sending it to.
Two. Barbara McPherson, one more, text field.
And then the rest of it's just academic. You just fill out the subject and you put in what you want to say, and then you hit send and it goes to everybody on the list. I don't know how to stick them into the BCC or other columns unless you select everything that's in the to box and you transfer it down to the BCC box if you want to do emails that way where they don't see each other on the email. Anyway, that's a way to group your contacts into lists, and then you can email them and do things like that with your contacts. So very interesting thing. So I'm going to cancel out of here.
Cancel button. Alert. Delete draft button.
Okay.
Gmail back.
Any questions on that, on contact lists or groups? Okay, here's some exciting stuff. I know you guys are just waiting with bated breath. Let me see here. So I've been playing with this application, and I'm still not sure how good it is.
Landscape.
But what it is, it's called Speaking Email, and it's primarily used by people who drive cars that don't want to look at their phones. And I'm thinking, wow, these guys have the same needs we have, because they need to use their phones without using their vision, but because they have to pay attention to driving. I thought, why don't we try one of these apps for us? Why don't we put it on the phone here and see if we can use it like they do, complete voice control. And that's what this Speaking Email app is. It's completely voice controlled. Now, the only caveat of this app is that, it doesn't really work well with VoiceOver because they trip over each other. So what you can do is you can disable VoiceOver, and then you can open the app using the S Lady, and then you can hear it start doing its thing. I'm going to play with it for you a little bit, and then I'll stop it in the middle in case there's any questions, or if you guys want me to try something else. I'm still experimenting with the app, but I really think it's a neat thing that they've done here. So I'm going to do that now. Hang on a second.
Expedia.com. Fly for less and find the sun. Calendar. Tuesday. Apps. Closing mail.
All right.
Contact. Closing contacts.
So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to disable VoiceOver, and then I'm going to launch the app. Siri, turn VoiceOver off. Open speaking email.
Main menu. Listening.
So what we can do is we can tell it to do things. Play.
Play. Checking mail and Gmail. Completed. New email from Amazon Marketplace. Skipping promotional email from Safeway. Skipping promotional email from Expedia.com. Skipping promotional email from Costco Wholesale. Skipping promotional email from Xfinity. Skipping promotional email from Babbel. Skipping promotional email from Sprouts Farmers Market. Skipping promotional email from iHeart Daily News Update. Skipping promotional email from Expertier Resume. Skipping promotional email from DoorDash Opportunity. Skipping promotional email from Emma Grade, the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. Skipping promotional email from Kayla Allen. Skipping promotional email from 1-800-Flowers.com. Skipping promotional email from listening.
Stop.
Stop.
So what I did yesterday when I was playing with this, I told it to, when I get to emails that are not from people that I know, to skip them. So that's what it's doing. So let's, since I don't have an email really quick to show you, but what it does is it reads the top when it finds it, and then it'll give you an opportunity to read the rest of it or go to the next or previous. So let me show you that. Hang on a second.
Listening.
Previous.
Previous. From 1-800-Flowers.com. Reading promotional email this time because you went back. Are you ready for Valentine's Day? Listening.
Previous.
Previous. From Kayla Allen. Reading promotional email this time because you went back. AZ announce. February AZCB events. Listening.
Next.
Next. From 1-800-Flowers.com. Reading promotional email this time because you went back. Are you ready for Valentine's Day? Listening.
Stop.
Stop.
Okay, now that's going to take a while to get used to. And again, this is not a very good example because I got a lot of promotional emails in my inbox. But let's do something like composing, like you would do with the S Lady. Let's see how that works. So I'm going to tell it to listen. There's a little button in the lower left. It's always right there, right at the lower left corner. You just put your finger on it.
Listening.
Compose.
Compose. Who to? Say contact name.
Patricia Green. Patty Green.
Selected Patty Green, P7 Ontiveros, at gmail.com. What's the subject?
Test.
Subject is now, test. What's your message? Dictate your message.
Hey, Patty, ellipsis. This is Manny just testing the speaking email app, period.
Say a dictation command.
Send.
Send. Here is your email to Patty Green. Hey Patty, this is Manny just testing the speaking email app. Say send again to confirm or any other dictation command.
Send.
Send. Email send. From Barbara McPherson. 10 hours ago. Manny iPhone class tonight, January 30th at 6:30 p.m. Listening.
Stop.
Stop.
So what it's designed to do is designed to allow someone who's driving a car to just have their stuff read and they give it voice commands. If you get good at these commands, which I'm not good at yet, that's why I was very slow and it's kind of long-winded here. You can do things like delete, you can move stuff, you can compose, you can do all kinds of crazy stuff with it. So I thought this might be an app that you guys might be interested in downloading. It's free and trying out. When you download it, you'll have to configure it to check your email box, and you'll have to give it permission to accept dictation and one other thing. I keep forgetting what it is now, but anyway, that's what it's microphone access. I'm sorry, microphone access, and there's another transcription guide. So that's kind of what it does.
Application called Speaking Email.
So I'm thinking if you guys try this out and let me know what you think, I can really dive deep into it and get better at it.
Or dictating their email on their
I
phone.
like it, but I don't love it yet. And I was hoping that other people get some similar experiences and let me know how they feel about it if they want to try it.
Check your email, delete your email, send email, all kinds of stuff.
Okay. Any questions on speaking email? All right, so let me put my phone back into its normal mode of operation. So I'm going to close this. Siri,
But to use it, you have to disable.
turn on voiceover.
Okay, I turned voiceover on.
Okay, another one that Barbara wanted me to
Calendar.
go over with you guys is this
Hey,
VLC.
Manny, what was the name of this one?
Oh, I'm sorry. It's called Speaking Email. Let me find the icon and I'll put it up on the screen so you can see it. Hang on a
It's
second.
neat. I was muted, but I was asking you, can you delete, and then you answer it. So that was good.
Yeah, it's a very interesting program because I think it's going to help us automate things. This is this whole language model thing I've been talking about, where we're running a speaking email app, yes, but after you launch the app, your voice is in control. You're actually telling it what to do, and if you get good at it, which, like I said, I'm not good at it yet. You can really zip through your email, triage your inbox pretty quick.
I know, that's what I want because I get too many.
Yeah, I would definitely try that. And I think there's a pay for version and the free version. I haven't figured out all the details yet. That's why I hesitated to show it today, but I really wanted to get it out there as soon as possible in case people are needing something like that. So let me find the icon.
Speaking email.
So the icon looks like this. I have it in front of the camera. It's like a greenish icon with a mail thing in the middle of it. So that's what it looks like in case you need to reconcile it with whatever vision you have. So it's like a
Messages.
Oh. All right.
Double tap to open.
Hey, Manny, can you hear me?
Who is this?
Hello?
Yes,
This is
who is that?
Diane.
Oh, hi, Diane. How you doing?
I'm good. I had a little trouble connecting tonight, so I wasn't sure if my voice was coming through. There's a book on BARD I wanted to mention called The Voice of the Future. And it's all about this whole big topic of how this guy says voice is going to replace keyboards. It's going to replace all of the other ways that we interface with each other. People aren't going to be typing anymore. They're going to be using their voice to do everything. It expands on what you're saying to cover a whole lot of different areas. It even talks about how programmers are beginning to develop software that is so accurate that programmers can dictate their program rather than having to type it on their computer.
That's
And
right.
one of the really cool things he suggested, although it's not perfected yet, is that that your voice speaking a preset phrase will eventually replace the use of passwords.
Yes.
So when you sign into something, you'll no longer have to remember your password or put in your password, any of that. You'll have a phrase that you will have agreed upon earlier with this app or program, or even on the phone, you'll be able to just sign in. It will know who you are by your voice, and that's all you're going to need, which I thought sounded great. Yeah, it's a really interesting book, and it is on Bard.
I'll definitely look into that. Thank you for that suggestion.
Yeah.
And you're absolutely
How
right.
do you find it on Bard?
I just would search for The Voice of the Future.
Oh, okay.
And it's a longer title, but if you put that in, you'll get it. And actually, it's fairly recent. I just downloaded it in the last couple weeks. It's not an old book at all.
I've got, Maggie, I've got a trick that some of you may like. For people like Manny, who I swear have all their ducks in a row, it's pretty simplistic, but it works for me. I have a complete brain freeze when it comes to what is the password for this or that. And if it's not on keychain, half the time I forget it. But I found that if you put it on your contacts, even if you don't have a regular phone number, I just say put Manny, and then you put the name. Then if you go down and put your password in there, all you have to do is get Siri to get Manny, and then you go down to your list of more things under Manny, and it'll give you your password. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, do you put it in the notes section, or where do you put it?
No, I'm putting it in my contacts to call.
Right.
And I don't care what okay, first it goes down, it asks you for name, address, phone number, all of this. Then it's got space underneath. And then I just put my password there.
Oh.
Okay, that's called notes.
A great idea.
It's called notes.
Well, the only danger in doing that, Maggie, and there's nothing wrong with doing that, by the way, I'm not chastising you, but if you ever share that contact, the person getting it will know your password. Just be aware of that when you're going to share.
I'm so paranoid. I don't share anything.
Okay.
Of course, you know my phone inside out, but that's it. And it's not, I don't say this is my password. If it comes down, it's listing address, it's listing all of this.
Okay.
Okay, I've got a dog food one where I order it, and I just have it like Falcon $7, and it's just sitting there all by itself.
Okay. Well, that's the way you remember it, and that's a good way. But the good thing about what Diane was saying is that will become something of the past when these biometrics really kick in these phones.
That'd be great. That'd be great. You could unlock I have to, like shopping, I use my phone and it goes to sleep, and I have to, put my number back in there. And I forgot my iPads. I mean, what's it called? The
Apple Pay?
No, my
the pods, the AirPods?
Yeah, yes, I forgot. So I was saying, I had it out loud, and I had to keep putting my my unlock number, my pass word or whatever, pass numbers and that'd be great when you could just say one word,
Yes.
Yeah, but there's a problem with that. Since I have never been able to get Face ID to work on my phone. Manny's tried it to get it on for me. I've tried. It just doesn't want to do it. So I'm leery about anything like that because I can't just get even something as simple as, picture ID on there or face ID.
Yeah. Well, the good thing, Maggie, is that there is no wrong way to do it. If you have a good system that's secure for you,
Yeah.
that's perfect. And
Yeah.
and if you can use Face ID, that's great. But if you can't for whatever reason, it's okay.
Well, Maddie, you and I have tried it 3 or 4 times, and it just thinks I've got an ugly mug that it doesn't want to see. It just doesn't ever work.
It never recognizes me either. I don't know why.
This is Diane again. The other thing this guy even mentioned in this book was that evidently people are working on this whole thing on a lot of different fronts. And there are some people who are working on developing software that can be used by people who have difficulty speaking for whatever reason on their phones or however, and that will be able to learn their voice patterns, and even though they are very irregular or in some other way very unusual, but learn to adapt to that so that they also can use this kind of voice technology. I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yes.
That they would do that. Although it's all in progress, he's talking about the future, but still, it sounds really promising.
Well, I think we've been doing this whole language model thing for a good 5 years, maybe up to 10. When the S lady and the A ladies first came out, they were the first footsteps into this kind of computing. And they do pretty good for what they do, but they could do a whole lot more, like you're saying, Diane and Patty. There's even more things on the horizon that you wouldn't believe. Things like neural implants that are supposed to bring sight back to the blind. Because they're learning how the brain sees, so they're putting in. There's all kinds of crazy stuff that's going on. But I'm so happy that we are going down this road with AI and getting these devices to actually be true good assistants that doesn't require a degree in information technology to use them, like in the past. So I think that's a wonderful thing. Thank you, Diane, Patty, Maggie. That's really good. So
doing searches, Manny, doing searches on the internet, it can blow your mind what they're working on.
That's right. That's right.
Not only gene therapy, but just so many other things. And Canada's doing a lot. It's not just the United States. Unfortunately, some of us may have been born 50 years too soon,
Well, we're seeing what we're seeing, and for us, it's been a miracle compared to older computers that used to sit on your desktop and play Pong with or whatever it was way back.
Well, I had one of those.
Yeah. And back then, that was the bee's knees. Remember back in those days with Atari?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and the cutting edge. But I think truly now these devices are helping the blind and hearing and disabled and even motor skill disabled. It's so good what they do to help mitigate these problems that people are having. And I can't wait to see.
One night I was on Sunvan and some of the people with developmental disabilities were on it, and they were just happily using their iPads and doing whatever they were doing. And it was joyous because the only light in the van was their iPads because it was nighttime. But I mean, I enjoy seeing that progress.
Yeah, and it helps us so much and the blind community.
That the world gives a darn, that's terrific. Let's face it, Helen Keller had Anne Sullivan because her family was wealthy. Poor folk like us wouldn't have had that.
Yep.
But she did a lot of good with her wealth, so that's wonderful too.
Yeah. Did somebody have a question? I thought I might have heard somebody. Okay. So the next guy, unless there's more questions about all this stuff we're talking about here, is a review of the VO Starter app. And VO obviously stands for voiceover. So if you need to understand how voiceover works in practice, this is a great app to put on your computer. And it's called VO Starter. And I'm just going to open it up and just show you a few quick things just to remind you it's there. And, you know, just show
Manny, you can use it on the phone too. I've got it on my phone and you can just refer to it.
That's right. That's right. So I'm gonna open it up now and let's see what we find. All right. Let's see here.
7:41 p.m.
Oops, hang on.
Calendar, Tuesday.
Siri, open VO starter.
Toolbar, menu, button.
Okay. So like with any app, like, you know, we talked about how you have to tap and jump through their hoops. VO starter is an app. It's not the things we've been discussing that we wish were here. So got to get back to this old swiping and tapping kind of thing. So when I get into a program and it doesn't say anything, which is ironic, I do a 2-finger swipe up with voiceover on to get it to start reading the screen. And of course, when I've heard enough, I will stop it with a 2-finger touch. So let me do that now. It's 2-finger swipe up.
Menu, back button, flicking practice, heading, keep flicking, keep flicking.
Okay, so what it's telling me, excuse me, is that this is where I left off before when I was in it. I was practicing flicking or swiping, whichever term you use, and it was doing that. I'm going to go to the menu and go back to the main menu, and let's see if there's something that's really interesting that we can look into here. So I'm just going to use my finger and come down from the top left because I know it's up there somewhere. I want to come down.
Return menu, back button.
Menu, back button. Okay, do that.
Menu, start button.
So let's see what's on this screen. I can swipe to the right or I can do a 2-finger swipe up or down. I'll just swipe to the right and see what's going on here.
VO starter, heading, about, but, voiceover basics, heading, starting voiceover, learn how to start and stop voiceover.
Okay, there's that. Let's see what's next.
Basic gestures, learn the basics of flicking and double tapping with voiceover. Magic tap, learn about the magic tap feature of iOS.
So magic tap is the 2-finger double tap where you hang up calls and then you pause and play stuff. That's why they call it magic tap, because based on where you're at, it does different things. So let's keep going.
The rotor, learn to use the voiceover rotor.
That's always fun. So aren't you going to be thankful in the days when you don't have to do 2 and 3 and 4-finger gestures and rotors and stuff? You can just talk to it. I mean, that's going to be a wonderful day when it gets here. Let's see here.
Using the home and lock screens. Status bar. Editing text. Learn how multi-finger gestures. Online.
Let's go to basics.
Edit using the rotor. Magic tap. Basic gestures. Learn the basics of flicking and double tapping with voiceover.
So all those topics are there. I'm just going to go into one as an example. I invite you to get this app and explore every single topic, and wherever you get to something that you're not sure of, go in there and explore it and become sure. Because while we're using this voiceover, the better you are, the better you can be getting around on your phone. So I'm going to go into this basic gestures thing with the double tap.
Explore the screen.
So the first guy here is explore the screen. Second,
Flicking.
so that's flicking, swiping.
Tap/double tap.
So let's see what the explore the screen has in it.
Flicking. Explore the screen. Great work. You can now enable and disable voiceover. Doing this will be great work. You can now enable and disable voiceover. Doing this will become easier in time. But for now, we will move on to navigating your device's screen. Double tap to continue.
We're going to double tap.
A big part of using iOS with voiceover is finding and activating items. A big part of using iOS with voiceover is finding and activating items on the screen. The Android operating system calls this Explore by Touch, which is a really great description of one method of navigating the screen. You have already been doing some of this when you double tap the screen to move to the next lesson.
And anyway, I'm not going to go into the whole 9 yards here because we could sit here for 15 minutes listening to it talk, but you get the idea. And then if you need to go back up, you look for in the upper left corner, the back button, and you can do the Explore by Touch like it just explained. Here's what Explore by Touch sounds like. You take a single finger and you drag it on the screen, and it'll say whatever's under your finger.
To continue to the next, a big part of using iOS Explore, Explore, return to Siri.
And there
button.
it is.
Status bar item.
So again,
Swipe down with 3, a big part of you.
Again, you can use that and other gestures to move around the screen. And this thing will help you learn how, and it even provides a little bit of training in certain areas on how to do it. So this is a very good app, even if you don't use it that much. It's just good for reference. It's good to have something there that is easy to get to documentation wise. There are other resources, but this seems to be very easy for me. So, any questions about VO Starter or VoiceOver in general? All right. Okay, so I'm going to go see what's next on my little list here. Let's see. Oh, okay. So our good buddy Seeing AI, what Marlene mentioned early on in the class, I did this thing last week with Seeing AI where I took a menu in and I took half the menu. It was actually just one page out of two. It was a menu from a restaurant, Little Anthony's or wherever it was. And I got the one side. I asked about salads. I asked it about lobster, hot dogs, gluten, and all that good stuff. But what I forgot to do in that thing is I forgot to show you how to scan multiple pages. So that's what I want to do today. So I printed something out here, right here in my hand. And I think it's about potassium. So we're just going to look at something totally different. And then we're going to ask it questions about the document. I'm probably going to scan maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 pages just to give you an idea of how to do it. And then I'm going to ask it about whatever it saw in the 2 pages. So I'm going to do that now. So I put the document in front of me, obviously.
Landscape.
Hang on a second.
Charge port to the left.
Yeah.
Explore. Back button. Portrait.
All right, let me close this up.
Home. 7-4 app VO start. Closing VO starter.
So first thing I got to do is I got to open Seeing AI, which if you don't have that app, I highly recommend that one. And of course, Be My Eyes as well is another good app to have. Siri? Open Seeing AI. Okay, so as soon as it's open and you didn't hear it say anything, I'm going to go down and change the channel to document. Right now it should be in short text. So I'm going to go down to the bottom and come up with my finger, Explore by Touch, to get to what's called the channel bar. Okay, so let me do that.
Channel, short text, adjustable. Swipe up or down with one finger to adjust the value.
I'm going to swipe up to move it from short text to document.
Document. No edges visible. Hold steady. Processing. Cancel. Button. Back. Button.
So what it's done is it does like it normally does. It puts the text that it detected in the screen. If I put my finger on it, it'll just be the raw text that it found on the page. Like here we go right here.
Milk, cheese and dairy. Medium potassium 100 negative.
So this is about potassium. Okay, so I'm going to go to page 2. So let me flip the page here on this document, this set of documents here. And I'm going to get the second page in there. And you would do this with a menu. You would do this with your electric bill or whatever it is. So you can get all the information that's being shown to you on that document. So in Seeing AI, what we have is at the very top, we have a page function of some kind. I forgot what it's called, but let me get up there and find it.
Page, add page, button.
It's called Add Page. So you put your device, your phone over the document, and then you double tap that Add Page, and then you do bring it up until it snaps the picture of the document.
Add tape picture, button. Top and right edges not visible. Top and left edges not visible. Hold steady. Processing. Cancel. Button. Take
Okay.
picture. Button.
So this is all well and good, but the thing that we care about is asking it specific questions, because I could just have it play the text and sit here all day listening to it, but I don't want to do that. I just want to get the information that I want out of whatever document that I'm scanning, whether it's a menu, whether it's potassium, whether it's whatever it is. So I'm going to go down to that thing called Ask Seeing AI, and it should be at the bottom if I remember correctly.
100 pick up. Ask Seeing AI.
Right there.
Button.
And we can do that.
Ask See text field is editing.
Now, what you can ask it is really limited to your imagination, just like you would ask a human. Let's say I want it to give me a summary of what it just did. Instead of reading me the whole document, just give me the gist of it. So I'll say something like this. I'm going to go ahead and ask the question. Summarize the document.
Inserted summarize the document. Send button. Summarize the document. The document provides detailed information about the potassium content in various food items. It categorizes foods into two groups based on their potassium content: medium potassium, 100 - 200 milligrams/serving, and high potassium, more than 200 milligrams/serving. Foods in the medium potassium category include frozen yogurt, ice cream, milk, and pudding. High potassium foods include condensed milk, evaporated milk, chocolate milk, skim milk, and pudding. The document also lists the potassium content of various types of meat, nuts, beans, and fish. For instance, beef, cashews, baked beans, and catfish are among the foods mentioned.
So just in those 2 pages, it gave me all of that in summary. And you can summarize any document that it reads because it doesn't care what it says. It's just going to analyze it the same way. So let me ask it one more question. Let's say I'm interested in milk. Let me ask it about milk. I don't know what I'm going to ask it. I'll just figure it out right now. Let's see here. So we'll go back to the thing where you're going to put the question in, which is down here.
Text field is editing. Ask a question. Character.
What does it say about milk?
Inserted. What does it say about milk? Send button. What does it say about milk? The document provides information about the potassium content in different types of milk and milk products. Here are the details. Condensed milk, 1/2 cup, 567 milligrams of potassium. Evaporated milk, 1/2 cup, 425 milligrams of potassium. Chocolate milk, 1/2 cup, 210 milligrams of potassium. Skim milk, 1/2 cup, 204 milligrams of potassium. Buttermilk, 1/2 cup, 185 milligrams of potassium. 1% low-fat milk, 1/2 cup, 190 milligrams of potassium. Whole milk, 1/2 cup, 185 milligrams of potassium. Soy milk, 1/2 cup, 173 milligrams of potassium. Please note that these values are for potassium content and the serving sizes are also mentioned.
So isn't that pretty interesting how it does that? It actually, it's like someone reads the document for you and just gives you the gist of what you want instead of reading the whole thing top to bottom, left to right. I think that's the beauty of these technologies we've been talking about, seeing AI being one of them. So that's how you scan multiple pages in. And you could scan 2 pages, you could scan 200 pages in. It doesn't matter how much you scan in, it'll analyze it all the same. So
Manny, you want to go in how to share it?
oh, share it? Sure. Did anybody have any questions while I'm doing that?
No, it's
Yeah, I have
awesome.
a question. This is Diane again.
Go ahead,
Is
Diane.
there a way to save these documents? Like I scanned a fairly lengthy one a couple days ago. Is there a way to save it so I don't have to scan it again if I wanted
He's
to look at
gonna
it
show
again?
you that.
I believe that
Okay.
sharing it is saving it, if that makes any sense.
Oh,
So let me get
Yeah.
down it. I haven't done this in a long time, so I might fumble a little bit, but we are going the right direction here. So let me
Good.
look on the screen.
then I-
for-
and
go
then I
ahead.
have another question, but I'll save it for later, I guess.
Okay. So right now we're in the Seeing AI section of that. So we're not going to save our chat history. What you want to save is the stuff you scanned, right? So we're going to go back to the scan results. So we got to go back on this screen. Where's
Back button. Back button.
Now let's look for a way to do this. I'm going to swipe to the right and see what we got.
Page 2 of 2. Heading. Add page. Button. Edit. Button.
So it's not there. Let's see if it's at the
It's
bottom.
on the toolbar on the bottom.
On the bottom, okay.
It's the middle
Credit
one.
Button. Ask Seeing AI. Share.
Right there.
There it is.
Exactly where Barbara said it would be. Down at the very bottom right, the very last button on the bottom right, share. So if we do that,
Share. Alert. Share images. Button.
so you can share the images that you took, meaning the pictures of the document in this case, or you can share the text that it extracted. Which one were you thinking of doing, Diane? The images or?
Text.
Yeah. Text,
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Well, you can do either one. I mean, if you do text, it'll just put the text out in a note or in an email or in a text message or whatever. And in the images, obviously, that's probably going to go as images into your photo library. So let's look at each one real quick, if that's okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
you have two options, images and text. We're going to choose images for now.
Share images. Button. Close. Button. Save to files.
Now-
Button. Save to image.
Now you get a share sheet. So the share sheet is usually a standard thing that says you can share it with Barbara, Manny, boom, boom, boom. You can put it in
Yeah.
a text message, blah, blah, blah. So all that's on top. I'm gonna bypass that and go to the bottom because that's where the interesting stuff might be, what you're thinking about as far as saving it for posterity. So let me go down below that. So in the very beginning of the share sheet, it looks like this.
Monwell's Mac Mini. AirDrop.
So this is the computer that I'm hosting the video on that you're seeing. It's my little Mac Mini. So it detects that and says, you want to share it with that computer? Go ahead. Okay. And then we'll just go a few more.
Chica Green. Messages.
That's Patty.
Button.
That's text message to her.
Becky. Messages. Becky and Chica. Valeria and Chica.
So anyway, these are people that I've sent text messages to in the past. Let's go to the next line. There's more.
AirDrop. Button.
So AirDrop allows you to send it to somebody's device. Let's say that Barbara is very close. We're in the same house or whatever, and I want to send her this. Well, it'll detect her phone and it'll say AirDrop to Barbara, and I'll say yeah, and it'll actually send it right from my phone directly to hers over the air and drop it right into her phone, and then she can do what she wants with that. That's one way of sharing. But let's get to your question, Diane, about putting it into your photo albums, okay? So there's more options beside this, but let's get to what you want. So we're gonna go down.
Messages. Button. Mail. Button. Copy. Button. Save to images. Button.
Save to images, okay? When you do that, it's gonna stick it in your photo library as 2 images. So that's how you save the things that you took. I don't know if that
Okay.
answered your question. Were you thinking of
Well,
something?
yeah.
Show the
Yeah.
save text. That's what most of us would be doing.
Okay. Now, if you want the extracted text, the resulting text that it figured out, that's the other save option. So let's get out of this one and do it again. So let's go back.
Close. Button.
We're going to try
Back.
sharing again.
Share. Button. Share. Alert. Share images. Button.
So instead of share images, we're going to go to the next one.
Share text.
Share
Button.
text.
Okay.
share button, document.
And the same share sheet comes up. And if you want to send it to somebody, that's great. Let's see what we have here.
AirDrop, messages, mail, button.
So I
Notes,
would send me
button.
an email. with that.
So you could send an email, you could put it in your notes app, you could put it inside of a note, all the text that was figured out. Let's see what else they have here.
Journal, button.
The new journal app allows that. So you scan something in and you like it, you want to put it in your new journal. I haven't tried using that app yet, by the way. I'm hoping to have that ready for next month. But the journal app is a new thing that they've just released. And let's keep going.
Freeform, button.
Freeform is another app that you can do crazy stuff with that I haven't gone into yet.
Kindle, button.
Kindle is my book reader, so I can actually put it into a form that Kindle can read it back to me in. That's another thing we can do.
WhatsApp, button.
WhatsApp and Facebook and all these are social media apps. We'll skip over those. And let's see what's in the menu down here.
Copy, button.
So you can copy it to the clipboard or the buffer, so you can paste it in somewhere. You can do.
Add to new quick note, button.
I haven't messed with quick notes, but we'll keep going.
Add tags, button. Save to files, button.
So you can save it as a text file, .txt, into your files. So there are many options, Diane, you have. Just depends on how you want to file this stuff away.
Okay, Can I ask a couple more hopefully little questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
So when I was copying these pages, a couple of times, I think I had blank pages, but it was really hard. I just know that it seemed like seeing I couldn't find anything. Is there a way to know that the page is blank?
That's a good question. You know what? Why don't we try that? Because the thing that I printed out is only printed on one side. What if, riddle me this, Batman, what if I scan the blank side and ask it about the blank side? I wonder what it's going to say.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, you asked for it, Diane. It's coming. All right, let's see here. Let me get out of here.
Close, back, button, back, alert. This will delete all the pages you have scanned. Are you delete all pages, button.
All right.
Menu, button.
So I'm going to put the blank page up, blank side up. And let's see what happens when we scan in a blank page. And I don't know the answer to this. This is brand new for me too. Let's see. Let me just.
Channel, product, document.
See what it does here. Hang on a sec.
Channel, document, short tag, Alt, C, V, B, N, Alt GR, document.
So it's not detecting any corners or anything. I don't know why. So maybe when it's blank, it knows it and it doesn't try to have you center it.
But it also doesn't tell you this page is blank. You just have to figure that out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if I flip it over.
No edges visible.
Oh, wait, hang on. Let me try that again. Let's put the blank side.
Edge not visible.
Let's see. I'm going to raise it up real high. So it's not telling me about the edges. So that's kind of weird. If I turn it over to the side that has text, let's see what it does now.
Top and left edges not visible.
Yeah, it acts way different when there's text detected. So it knows when there's text in front of it. So when you have a blank sheet, it just goes completely silent, which is not a good thing. It should tell you it's blank, but so be it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Good question.
And then my last question is the document that I was scanning in had tables in it. And Seeing AI did not seem to have any idea how to read that table. Is that something I could fix in settings, or is it just not able to do that very well?
Oh, let's see. Let me see. Do I have one with tables in it here? We could try it out. Let me find a page here. I'm just gonna look at it real quick. So it looks like there's a table here at the bottom. So I'm gonna show it to the group here on the camera. There's down here somewhere is a table. I'm gonna see if it figures that out for us. So let me just put the thing down. We're gonna rescan page 1 again and see how it does it.
No edges visible. Hold steady. Processing. Ice cream spans 3 columns. Row 3, column 1.
So there it is. It just told you row 3, column 1. This is the table at the bottom.
Hi,
If-
Deb. I'm on a phone call. I can't
So
talk.
if I go to the top of the table, let's see what happens.
Medium potassium 100 negative 200 milligrams slash ice cream. Frozen yogurt 100 medium potassium page 1 of 2. High potassium more frozen yogurt 100 high medium milk cheese and dairy. Medium potassium 100 negative 200 milligrams slash serving. Row header.
Row
Column header.
hear it?
Spans 3 columns. Row 1.
I
Yeah,
do, but I really had trouble figuring out what went with what after a while. It was just sort
Okay.
of felt very random.
Let me get to the top of it and you'll hear what it says. I just didn't have enough patience to let it finish talking. So I'm going to go to the very top of the table where the very first column header is, and you'll hear what it says, okay? Now this is just seeing AI, just reading it, the text. This is not the AI portion where you ask it stuff. This is the step
Yeah.
before that. Okay. So if I'm at the very top of the table, it'll sound like this.
Medium potassium 100 negative 200 milligrams slash serving. Row header. Column header. Spans 3 columns. Row 1. Column 1. Table start. 13 rows 4 columns.
So it does read tables, according to what I just heard.
But then what does it say when it gets to the first item in the table?
Okay, let's swipe to the right because then we're gonna go bit by bit
At
through it.
least, yeah,
So,
just one item. Just like to know how it tells me what it's saying.
okay,
High potassium more than 200 milligrams slash serving. Column header. Column 4.
okay, keep going.
Frozen yogurt 152 milligrams. Spans 3 columns. Row 2. Column 1.
So you would have to remember what's in column 1 when it's doing that. It's not gonna repeat the top saying low or medium potassium frozen yogurt. So you just have to remember column 1 is the medium column, and then the
Yeah,
next one.
okay.
High potassium more than 200 milligrams slash serving. Milk. Column 4.
So yeah, it's kind of it's okay, but it's not 100%. But it does
Pretty
give you
disjointed,
some.
yeah.
There is
All right.
organization
Well,
there, but
so-
it's not good.
It's just sort of is what it is. Well, that's good. At least there's no secret that I just didn't know. Okay, thanks.
No, and if the table's formatted, if it's a uniform table, it's easier. If it's one of these tables where
Right.
someone has gone in and combined columns in one row and have different columns in the next row, that's going to be a lot harder for it to read. So,
Yeah, okay.
yeah, that's a good
All right.
question. Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. All right.
Home. Fridge buddy.
So if there are no more questions about the Seeing AI, multiple page scanning and whatnot, we'll hit the next app. Hang on a second.
Apps with closing Seeing AI. Calendar. Tuesday. Check.
So the next one I have on my list is a library app called Libby. I don't know if anyone's ever used that. But what it does is it interfaces with the library that you belong to. In my case, it's the Pima County Library. And you have a library card with them. And through the Libby app, you can then check out books, audiobooks and whatnot. So let me open it up, and you get this off the App Store, and it's free. Siri,
Screen dip.
open Libby.
Libby. Menu. Tab. 3 of 5.
All right, so let's go. So in Libby, there are tabs at the very bottom. Let's go through them real quick.
Search. Tab. Navigation. Landmark.
There's search.
Library. Tab. 2 of 5.
This is your library management. I guess you can have multiple libraries that Libby checks for you instead of just the one that I have.
Menu. Tab. 3 of 5. Selected. Shelf. Tab. 4 of 5.
Shelf is the books that you currently have checked out.
Timeline. Tab. N.
And I guess that's your history.
5 of 5. Smart tag. Borrowed. Link.
All right, so let's go to search.
Search. Tab. Navigate. URL. Search.
Now you do a keyword search, but then once you do the keyword search, you then can filter it by audiobooks or whatever, and then you can get to the content you want. So let's see here. Let me get to the search thing. It's towards the top and it's in the search tab. So let me find it.
Navigation. Search the catalog. Search. Search field. Search. Landmark. Insertion point at end.
So let's look for, I don't know.
Jody Thomas.
Jody Thomas.
Inserted Jody Thomas.
So I'm going to go ahead and execute.
Search. Search URL. Search results.
So if I go from the top down, here's what it looks like or sounds like.
Search the catalog button. Reset search field. 20 titles in. Search results. Heading level 1.
We found 20 items, but we can't stop there. We have to tell it what kind of items we want. So let's see.
Open filters dialog. Books. 14 items.
So we got 14
Filter.
books.
Audiobooks. 6 items.
So typically we would select audiobooks.
URL. Search results.
So once you select the audiobooks filter, those 14 regular books go away and it only shows the 6 audiobooks. So let me get down to the section where the search results are, which is down here.
Number 6 in series. Button. Audiobook. Can't Stop Believing. By Jody Thomas. Title status. Available to borrow. Button.
So obviously, exactly what it means. If I wanted to borrow this right now, I could do it. Sometimes the status says available in 3 weeks or whatever. So that means it's currently checked out and the earliest availability will be whenever that date is. So let's hear what else we can find out about this book.
Borrow. Link.
So there's the borrow link. If I do that, I'm brought to another page and I think I hit another borrow kind of option and then it's on my shelf. So let's keep going.
Play sample. Button.
Okay.
Tag. Button.
So you can tag it for later. So it's easier to find later on. Let's say you don't want it yet, but you want to just be reminded or you want to be able to find it quickly. You can tag it.
That's
So let's look at the next thing here.
Number 8 in series. Audiobook. Title status. Wait list. ~2 weeks.
So
Button.
here's the wait list one. So I can't get this particular book for 2 weeks. And I don't know what this one's called. Let's see.
It can't be
Placeholder.
believed.
Link. Title. Audiobook. One True Heart.
One True Heart.
By Jody Thomas. Just
So that one's on hold for 2 weeks. So that's the way Libby works. Now, I was telling Barbara the other day, I have no idea why audiobooks have to be taken out one at a time. I mean, it's a digital content. You could spread it everywhere, but it must be some
Right.
kind of copyright deal.
But go ahead and pick one and show them how to play it.
Oh, yeah. So let's go to that first one. I'm going to go upstairs here, back to the one I can borrow.
Number 6 in series. Audiobook. Can't Stop Believing. By Jody Thomas. Title status. Available to borrow. Borrow. Link.
So when you get to that borrow link, you just double tap.
URL. Request title.
Now I need to go down to the thing that lets me complete it. So I'm gonna swipe to the right.
Back to search results. Audiobook. Can't borrowing. Can't stop believing. Jody Thomas. Pima County Public Library. Library card. 2, 1. Loans. 0 holds. 0 borrowing for 21 days. Borrow button.
So then you confirm the borrow with this button at the very bottom. It's a big fat square button called borrow. So we're gonna do that.
Jody Thomas.
So now this book is on my shelf, and I'm not sure if you can play it from here. Let me see if we can. If not, we'll have to go to my shelf. So let me do that.
Back to search
you can play it.
resize. Audiobook. Can't stop believing. Cover image. Image.
Okay.
Can't stop believing. Jody Thomas. Borrowed until February 20th. Logo for Pima.
Okay.
Open audiobook button.
There it is. So at the bottom, there's an open. Let's see what else they have.
Keep browsing button. Go to shelf button. Open audiobook.
I'm gonna go ahead and
button.
open it so we can hear it. Now, what's gonna happen with copyrighted content, when you guys are watching this later on YouTube, this may not have the sound because YouTube scrubs all my videos for any copyrighted content. So you might hear it here, you may not hear it here, but it probably won't be on the YouTube video when this is published. So I'm gonna play it and see what happens. Let's see here.
Open audiobook button. Look URL. Open.
So on the player, it brings up
Enjoying Libby. Enjoying.
it brings up the artwork, and then it has a play button below it. Let me pull this nag screen off here real quick.
Enjoying tapest rating. Not now button.
Not during class.
You are in
Okay.
navigating mode.
So-
Jody Thomas.
Now I got to find the play button, so I swipe to the right.
0%. 10 hours 22. Rewind 15 second. Play button.
Now here's the play.
Lone Star Audio and One Click Digital present Can't Stop Believing by Jody Thomas, narrated by Julia Gibson. One Click Digital provides free audiobook downloads in partnership with thousands of public libraries. To see if One Click Digital's
Pause.
extensive
But play.
So the play button is a toggled button. You can play, pause. It's the same button. It stays right there. So it'll be double tap with one finger again. It'll switch between playing and pausing. And you can always come back and it'll just resume where you left off. And that's the cool thing about the Libby app. It's a good app, and it's got a good player on it.
Hey,
And,
Manny,
yeah.
it's Patty. So you borrow the book, and how do you return it?
It's automatically returned.
Okay.
That's the beauty of borrowing on these electronic guys. As soon as 21 days is up, it becomes available for the next person looking for this book.
So the formats, can you borrow print books?
Yes.
Okay.
And those would just be, if you're gonna have it read to you, it'll just be a voiceover read, a computer
Right.
read. These are the audiobooks like Bard that has a person reading them.
Yep. Cool.
But yes, you can do that.
If you keep flicking to the right, you can go to the next chapter.
Oh,
They
that's
also
right,
have,
yes.
a rewind and a fast forward 15 seconds.
So I'm on these transport controls, is what they call them, and I'm on the play button right now. The play button has a little triangle symbol because I'm in pause mode, so it's the mode that we're going to go to if we click on it. But let's go back one and see what that says. I think it takes it back by 15 seconds or something like that. Let's go back one.
Rewind 15 seconds button.
So I can rewind it,
Landmark.
and then I think the other one is to go the other way.
Play button. Advance 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Button.
Now, what Barbara was talking about is there are ways to move around the book by chapter, I believe. So we're going to do that.
Start of audiobook. 1 minute behind. Chapter 1. Table of contents. Button.
And then
Next chapter. 13 minutes ahead. Recent places. Description. No previous.
so I guess it only shows you where you're at, what chapter you're on. So if you're on chapter 2, it'll allow you to move back to chapter 1 or to chapter 3, but you're not going to be able to jump to chapter 10. You're going to have to just go through chapter by chapter to get there. So you don't have an unlimited moving around kind of thing. You have to go sequentially. That's I don't know if that's good or bad.
Manny, this is Diane again.
Mhm.
Back to Patty's question, I believe too that because I used this a couple times to read a book, I believe when I got to the end of the book, it gave me a prompt if I wanted to return it early.
Oh, I've never done
If
it.
you have it on a
So
waiting list is nice because you know other people are waiting for the book.
that's a good thing, and I don't
Yeah,
know
I'm
the
pretty
answer to
sure.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, you have to go. Well, you have to read the whole book to find out. But I think there's a place where you can return it early.
Well, what I do is I play them and then I don't pay attention when it gets to the end. I just close it. I'm just so fast to do it. And I probably should do the right thing and return the book because I feel bad for somebody who's waiting for it too. You're right. So I'm going to be better about that, better custodian with my borrowing.
But I do have a question because I've almost given up using Libby because every audiobook that I've wanted to get has had a waiting list. And I have put my name on that waiting list 2 or 3 times, and I wait and I wait and I wait, and I keep checking back, and then eventually it just disappears from my waiting list, but I never get to check it out.
Oh no!
And I don't know.
Because Manny
it's
has
really
them all.
annoying. I even called the library to see if I could find somebody there. Well, the people there didn't have a clue about it. They didn't even hardly know what this app was. So, I mean, I really struck out trying to figure out why. Because the first time I did this, when it was available, I got an email that said, your book is available, download now. And then I stopped getting those. And I don't know, is there something maybe in settings that I need to go in and say, when my book is available, send me an email or some way to make it work?
Your notifications, yeah.
I think it's probably something to do with the notifications in the app, but I'll put a pin in this and check it out and put it in the notes back or get back to you on that. So
that'd be great because
Yeah.
I've really been frustrated with this app for that reason.
yes, and good reason if you're expecting the book and then you can't get it. That's lousy. So yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Any more questions about Libby? All right, so we're gonna go to the next book app that I really like a lot. I don't know if any of you guys have ever used Kindle, but there is an iOS Kindle app as well.
No.
And what Kindle does is that it allows you to play books that you order from Amazon. And you can, they have free books up there and they have other books. I just recently put a cookbook on there because Patty is kind of teaching me how to make my way around the kitchen and not fall and break my hip and make food instead. So I haven't had good success yet due to technical problems, but the book is there in Kindle and I'm learning how to do the spices, and Patty is kind of helping me not drop everything when I'm doing it. So I'm going to open up the Kindle app and open up that recipe book so you guys can hear what it sounds like on the iPhone. Okay, so let me do that. Now the Kindle app can be downloaded again from the App Store, and then you can get books from Amazon. However, there is a catch. When you're in the Amazon app, Apple is not going to allow you to purchase books because I think it competes with their iBooks. This is one of these things that I do not like about Apple. Okay, so you can go to Safari, open up Amazon.com, and order all the books to your heart's desire. And I don't know why that's allowed. And the app is not.
That's what happened. That's what
Yeah.
happened. I couldn't download a book that I was trying to get. Oh,
Right. It says not
Manny?
available.
Manny,
Yeah.
you can sign up for your Kindle through, if you've got an Amazon Prime, for 2 months for $4.92, for 2 months, $2.50 a month, and then after that it's $11.99 per month.
Okay. This is for the access to the library of books that they have. Is that what that
Kindle,
is?
yeah.
A Kindle. Okay. I haven't done that yet, so that's new to me. Thank you. So
Manny, it's Maggie. why would you go to Kindle and buy books when you get them for free?
They do have some free
Amen.
books on there.
No, but I mean, you know, when you can go on Bard and get, I'm just too cheap. I just
Well,
don't see paying for it.
I
No, but it's a
completely-
particular book that he wanted. That's why, you know, you would
Yeah.
go there to get it.
So I'm
Correct,
trying, like I
correct.
said before, go ahead,
Bard
sorry.
doesn't have all the bestsellers and the newest books.
Yeah, I mean, if you really are an avid reader and you want all the latest stuff from like James Patterson, let's say, well, you're going to get some stuff on Bard, but Audible is going to have all of his stuff, but you're going to have to pay for the newer stuff. And that's the way that works. Or you can wait until his stuff ends up in Bard at some point. But Bard is free and it's great, but it
Well,
doesn't
Libby.
have the latest. Yeah.
Yeah,
And with
yeah,
Kindle,
Libby has a lot.
yeah, I downloaded a bunch of technical books, but now I downloaded this crockpot recipe, vegetarian crockpot recipe thing. And I'm just so enamored with it. I like it, and the Kindle app works very well with it. And I think I paid $7 for the book. But I do understand, Maggie, where you're coming from. You know, why buy something when you can get it for free? You know, what, it doesn't make any sense to do that. But it depends how much you want it, I guess, and what you're willing to wait for, you know. So let me open the Kindle app and I'll show you how that works real quick. I won't go too long in the Kindle app, but just so you can hear it.
8:27 p.m.
I got what I know now is I got a new book to read by Jody. So let me do, let's see.
Home. Easy voice read app Libby. Closing Libby.
Siri, open Kindle.
Tip. Double tap for menu. Swipe 2 fingers down for continuous reading. Double tap and hold to select text. Tip. You will notice that the recipe calls for less water than is called for in Stavidoc recipes. This is because the slow cooker seals in the moisture.
Okay, that's the page I had left off on, some rice recipe or something. But
Hey, Manny, does it show when you're reading it? Is it in print on your phone?
yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
It is. And mine, it's in it's the dark mode, so it has lighter print on a dark background. But I can't really see the print. The print's very small. But I'm using VoiceOver to read it. So in Kindle, if you do a 2-finger swipe down, that does continuous reading. But if you double tap on the screen, then all the menus come up. So let's try that.
Close book button. Table of contents but in book search button.
So if I'm looking for a keyword, I can do that.
Annotations button.
Annotations.
Reading settings button.
So I've never monkeyed with the settings so much. I guess you can change the font size if you're looking at it. But since I'm using VoiceOver, I don't really need the visuals so much. But let's go to the table of contents and let's find a recipe that we want to hear real quick. These are very short recipes, by the way, and I won't play them for very long, but let's find one.
Annotate in book search, table of contents button.
So we'll double tap on that.
Selected, basic brown rice, 29 button.
That's where I was at. So it's
That was pretty good.
basic brown rice, page 29. So let's just go a couple down and find one that's interesting so we can hear it real quick.
Mushroom congee, 30 button.
All right, mushroom congee. I have no idea what that is, but it sounds pretty cool. So let's go in there.
Close book button.
So now I'm going to put my finger on the page.
Book actions menu, exit button. Close book, table of contents, close book button. Book actions menu, book actions menu, exit button. Close book button. Table of contents button. In book search button. Annotations button. Reading settings button. More options button. Easy vegetarian slow cooker cookbook. 125 fix and forget vegetarian recipes. Add bookmark button. Page 29 of 197. 18%.
Oh, hang on a second.
Book actions menu. Exit button.
Sorry, I
Soy free.
here we go.
10 underscores. Gluten free. 10 underscores. Nut free. 10 underscores. Vegan mushroom congee serves 6 vertical line cook time 8 hours vertical line LOW image congee is a traditional rice porridge that is often eaten for breakfast.
And then if I want to go to the next one, I'll just swipe over.
In China and other parts of Asia. Sometimes it is cooked with vegetables, beans, or other add-ins, or it is made plain and served.
So instead of you hearing the whole 9 yards, it's a little more. It lists all the ingredients that you need, and then it gives you all the cooking instructions, and it gives you the notes as you're doing it, how you chop things or prepare things, and what to expect, and how much water to add, and all this good stuff. And there's 125
Cool.
recipes in this book that I can hopefully get to at some point in my life. So that's how that works. And I've downloaded other books for software engineering. You know, when I'm studying a different language or trying to do something in a different language, I can then reference those books too in the mathematics inside, and it reads it all pretty good. So I definitely recommend that if you desire any kind of Kindle kind of books. The only thing is, though, you cannot, for the life of me, pull any text out of there and share it or anything like that. They've really locked it down to where you can only read this stuff. So unfortunately, you're not able to share any of this content outside of the app. So that's the only caveat there.
You could take a screenshot, man.
I've tried it, but it's real hard to do. And then you got
Oh, that's the recipe you were trying to share, yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to. I'm still working on something to get around it, but it's probably just cheaper just to buy another book, $7. So it's like, anyway, that's kind of what I had for Kindle. And again, you have all the navigations, you have the table of contents, you know, which is pretty good. Continuous reading, you can go back, you can use the voiceover gestures to swipe to the next page, previous page, and of course the table of contents to go, you know, go to like the very first part of the book to the end. And it does pretty good, and the voiceover voice sounds pretty good. So it's not like a human reader, but it's not bad at all. And then when you close it, yeah, and when you close it, it just saves the place that you were at. And so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it with Kindle. There we go. Any questions on Kindle? All right.
No, I'm gonna try it.
All right.
Are you going to Bookshare next?
That is on the list. That is I
Because
could
it's 8:30, so we're running out of time.
guys. Okay, hang on.
There's John.
Calendar.
Sorry about that.
Tuesday.
Manny, John's calling.
Oh, that's right. We're already past. Let's go.
I
to
love you
Bookshare.
guys, but when this room is open, I can't operate my computer, and I got business to do tonight. So I'm gonna urge you to kind of wrap it up.
All right, we're gonna hit one more real quick one, about a minute.
That's fine.
Max.
That's fine.
Okay, and then we'll shut it down. Okay, per Barbara's request, I'm gonna go ahead and jump down to Bookshare. I did have some other ones to show you, but I guess we got caught up in a big conversation, and that's okay. That's a good thing. So let me open up Bookshare. Now Bookshare is another kind of app where you can download book content. However, it is not audiobook quality human readers. It's only text like Kindle, and you have to be. I think you have to be legally blind, or you have to be part of the NLS service, or you need to have some qualifications to get into the Bookshare app for free. Otherwise, there's a charge for you. So, and then there's a process where you submit the like Arizona Talking Book Library, Phoenix. They will verify that you're actually a member of that library and that you're disabled, and then they will grant you access to the app. Now, I haven't used the app yet because I'm still waiting for the approval stage, but that's what this app does. And by the next class, I will have some Bookshare
PM. Status bar item.
some Bookshare examples for you. I don't really have any today except to open the app, but that's basically what I have for Bookshare. I was going to open it when we had time and just peruse it, but there's really no content in there right now, and my status is pending until they actually approve me, which they haven't done it yet. and it's about due today. So, Barbara, did you want to add anything about
Well,
Bookshare?
it's a wonderful app if you don't mind the robot voice. It's a pretty good voice for a robot, but it is the robot voice. So you have to kind of get used to that.
Yeah.
The advantage of this is you can listen to it on the A-Lady, you can listen to it on your Victor Stream and on your iPhone. And it will remember on either device where you left off.
Huh.
And it's free to us, but there is a little
Completely
wait
free.
time.
Completely
So
free.
you can't just download the app and go. You have to wait like 5 days for them to
Mm-hmm.
bless
They
your.
contact the Talking Book Library.
Yeah,
Yeah, because it was used for students. I remember.
that's right.
We used to sign up all the students from Savvy, but there is a charge. Yeah, so
Yeah.
No charge.
now they're
no
waiving
charge.
it.
Right.
No, that's what
There's no charge for us, but
No, that's what I said for
sighted people
students.
have to pay $80.
Yep. Yep.
But for those of you that can see, you can set it up for word, where it will highlight the word as it reads it to you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
the
Well,
supposed to
cool.
be the largest ebook company in the world. They have over a million books in them.
Wow.
So I promise for next time, I'll have a working account and do some demos there with it. So sorry about that, Barbara. I didn't
Right.
get it under
Well,
the
you
wire.
can sign up at bookshare.org.
That's right. So
All right.
I guess if there's no questions, and Barbara's okay with it, we can actually end it. I don't know. What do you think, Barbara?
Yeah, but we're ready, John.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Okay, sounds good. So hang on.
Good night, everybody.
Yes,
Bye-bye,
thank you, guys.
everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
It was really good. Thank you, guys. Yes.
The meeting. iPhone has left the meeting. TV has left the meeting.